Hi everyone, this is Erin from Sandpaper Road, and in this video I'm going to show you what you make with Craft Outfitting Pattern 4. You end up making 4 scrapbook layouts and 12 cards all simultaneously. It's one project and you end up with all these multiple projects. This is the first scrapbook layout. Again, this is a showcase, so just showing you how yours might look. I'm about 95% of the way done with this. You know, I've got the title and some embellishments and things like that. All elements that have come from my personal craft stash. So the idea is that you use your craft stash to make several projects. As you're completing the pattern, the instructions will guide you into a project that mainly looks like this. And you can see some commonalities here. I'm just showing you because this is a showcase. You could put this element anywhere you wanted on the page, depending on what you had. You can see here's our paper that is a super busy pattern. I call it off the chain. Here's one that's sort of different and relatively plain. We call them difference plain. Here's this paper, this big square. You'll see I got 2 of those when I first chose the papers for the tutorial. 2 of them exactly the same. There's a dark one here, so you can see how yours will end up looking. It's a relatively simple pattern, but because we're kind of doing this on a rapid fire, you end up with these projects and you don't even realize you're making them. This is my second layout. And again, relatively simple construction. I would say that this is about 95% of the way done, maybe 90% of the way done. I've got some other things I'd like to do here to bling it up a little bit. But see this same paper? We saw this earlier. So it's the same paper. You're starting with a series of papers and you cut them in such a way that yields all these different projects, okay? And here's more of that same. Now here's what's unique is that behind these pieces right here, what we've done is we've cut some panels for cards, and of course you can't see because they're hidden behind the layout, which is great if you use top loading albums still, or if you know just for the strength of the album you just can't see it. But yeah, we're really using a lot of paper saving techniques. Here's how your layout will look. Just following the instructions of just the tutorial. So again, it looks pretty simple that you're like, well, I could do that on my own. But again, it's guiding you to use all the scraps of your paper and just cut it in such a way. And you don't have to have anything super special or anything out of the ordinary to participate in the tutorial. All right, and then the next one is you'll make a double page layout, which I really like this. I call this layout bonus points because my youngest son, back when he was in middle school, his teacher told him that if we went up to this certain waterfall and took pictures, then the teacher would give those kids bonus points if they did that. So we went ahead and did it, and he got the bonus points. But again, I'm not quite done with this. I've got some other things and little, like, little woodland embellishments and maybe some, I do have a few corners here, but I wanted to definitely add the journaling of that story in there. So I'm almost all the way done. I'm showing it to you before I'm all the way done so that you can sort of fill in the blanks with your mind. Oh, it needs this, or oh, I would add this, or oh, that looks just great the way it is. So behind each one of these photo mats, we've cut a card panel. And if you have a die that really makes your life easy, I've got these dies here that I used, but if you don't, there's no reason why you couldn't cut, like just with the back of a cereal box, cut a card panel with specific measurements that I give you in the tutorial, and then we cut the card panels out of these things to yield our cards. So let me show you what it looks like, just bare bones when you're doing the tutorial. Pretty simple, doesn't it? Yep, pretty simple. But again, it's a guide through. Here's that same paper, right? That off the chain paper. We've got a different plane. We've got another off the chain. We've got a dark. We've got a light, another dark. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then we have, you saw that in this bonus points layout, you saw that this right here was die cut with the same paper as is out here. And I haven't done that yet on my second round try, but here is the paper strip that we cut on purpose in the tutorial to let you use if you have like a Cricut or a Brother machine, or if you have dies, you know, you have enough that you could cut the title from this piece. So that is a look at the layouts. Now you heard me say card panel, and that's because while we're making the layouts, we're also making 12 cards. There is no reason to keep intact the area behind a photo if you know I mean, that's just exactly big enough to put on a half a sheet of cardstock and turn it into a simple card. And now you never have to run to the store at the last minute to buy a birthday card or a thank you card or whatever kind of card you want. You just have them on hand. That's what craft outfitting is all about. It's more for scrapbookers who don't want to make cards, and more for card makers who want to just mass produce. And then do you ever, maybe you're a card maker and you always wanted to be those people that scrapbook and give gifts as scrapbooks or something like that. Or you want to just make your kids, you know, birthday album or a baby album or something. So it's kind of the best of both worlds is what that is. And these are, again, just following the pattern. You can see they're pretty simple with some die cut shapes. I actually used a punch. And here's how it works. In your PDF cutting guide, you can see there's written instructions. There's physical cutting guide, like a physical cutting guide here. If you're that person, it shows you where to cut out behind things. I used hexagons as the shape so you can see exactly what to do. And then all like these punch, it's just a punch. As a matter of fact, this was the one I used. Okay, that I just had on hand. And once you cut all those, what do you do with them? Well, we're just putting them 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. And the, again, that's self-explanatory as well, laid out right for you in the basic card design. And we just put that on, we just, in our mind, put it on repeat. So I didn't do any more to these than just following the design. They're all pretty much the same, but now I've got a bunch of birthday cards on hand. And the second time I did it, since I had different papers, they look different. And these you can see I used a happy birthday die. But these, I thought, well, what if people don't have dies? Well, you could use a stamp. You could do it with Christmas paper and end up with Christmas cards. Wouldn't that be something? To do this a few times and have like some Christmas layouts and a bunch of Christmas cards, and they would all look just slightly different. Aren't these nice? And again, they're about 90% of the way done. The basic design is there. You could add some stickers or some bling or other little elements like that. It just depends on what you already have. But if you don't have much, if you have 10 pieces of paper, then you could go ahead and and some ribbon, you could go ahead and get started. So that is a showcase look at Craft Outfitting Pattern 4. Now, how does this work? It is a video tutorial, and I will link to the video right here. So join in. The video is free for everyone. Now, if you want to not have to rely on the video every single time you want to do the pattern, definitely consider purchasing the cutting guide. It is $10. It is 30 pages made to scale with very specific instructions and measurements. And you can print this out, or you can keep it downloaded on your phone or tablet or computer or whatever. It uses minimal ink to print. So you've got the visual cutting guide here. Then you've got the written corresponding. Each thing has see, this is the first same piece. And then here's the written instructions here. It goes through each page. And then at the very end, it shows a picture of what your projects will look like and also how they match up, so that when you're choosing your papers in the first place, you could be like, oh, I didn't want this paper to be on a layout. I wanted it to be more for cards. Or, oh, I wanted it to make sure to be here and not here, or whatever. You have a little bit of a, sort of like a cheat sheet, I guess, so to speak. And then if you have any questions, how to contact me. If you have questions, contacting at Sandpaper Road. And I just punched holes in it and put jump rings through it. The written instructions are only $10, and I think that's a great buy. And then it's yours. You download it and you print it and you keep it, and you can use it for all your different projects and needs. As a matter of fact, I like the way I did this one so much better that I'm going to go back and redo the download for pattern 3 in the same way, because that's more, it's just laid out a little bit differently, but I like this a lot better. It's much more paper saving, like ink saving, and it's a little bit more direct. I'm really pleased with the way it came out. I've been trying to work on this for a really, really, really long time. So I'm super proud of it, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So definitely check out the video tutorial, and I'll put a link below where you can get the PDF and get started. And let's get some projects made. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you over in the video tutorial. Bye-bye.